I'm not dressed for that, I didn't know this was going on.
He did, and he's just, and he's with us at our board meetings because he's in the next suite. And so he hears sort of the energy, the passion, sometimes the heat, right, that goes on in our board meetings. And he's been curious, and he wants to know what's going on. So Mike, basically what we're having a weekend event, right, of people that have.
Wendy.
What is that?
Excuse me. Wendy?
Wendy.
Wendy,
Is this on?
Wendy, please turn it off.
Yeah,
Okay, great. So Mike, what we've really brought for the first time in our 20-year history, everyone who participates in our program. So we have people from Atlanta, from Nashville, and then from Pennsylvania, from Florida as well, our executive director. And then this is also Maheen Bina, who is the founder of our project, right? Okay, so I just want to hear, Brett, please do. Why don't you sit?
You can sit at the end there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give him a seat.
No, I'll grab a seat. You guys go ahead.
No, Mike,
Mike,
What?
have a seat.
there's a chair here.
I'm going to be filming.
Okay, I won't sit down for 15 minutes.
Okay, good. You can, we'll release you as soon as you want to go. Okay, great. So, Dan, do you want to ask your question again, and when we're ready, we'll start the filming, or have we started it?
It's filming.
Okay, great.
So in our programs that we do inside the facilities and outside the facilities, we deal with people who have been incarcerated and returning citizens. So the question that I'd like to know is what has been the impact inside of your family and relationship in your community? One, from the perspective of you being away from your community, the loss of the resource of you, and two, the return of you to your communities and the gain of that resource. And what difference does your family see in the effect of the programs you're taking, and specifically the end violence program? And how has that contributed? And what's the larger conversation, so to speak, on the street or in the homes themselves?
I'll start. When I left, my daughter was 6 months old. Throughout the years, I watched her grow up through the prison. When she reached the age of 14, the mother sent me a thing saying that she wanted to be adopted by her stepfather, which at first I didn't want to hear nothing about that. But I had to look at it through a rational view. Do I want to see my daughter, or do I want to alienate my daughter in the court system and all that? And which I didn't do. I go ahead and I let her get adopted by her stepfather. I mean, it tore my heart out to do it, but I did it. Upon my release, my relationship with my daughter was it was almost gone, because she was just so sick of going to prison and seeing me, and you know, she grew up and she was on her way. She became a school teacher. I was like, I felt that I was an embarrassment to her. And in that, since my release, I had to build a whole new relationship with her. And the relationship I have now with her is good. It's still building, you know. I have a granddaughter that she'll be 4 years old, and I get to watch her grow up. I mean, it's her mother all over to me, because I didn't get to see her mother grow up. As for my family, they're 100% behind me. They were always behind me. For right now with them, what I'm doing with my life, they're really excited. They know that I mean business when it comes to staying free. You know, there's no more, well, what's Greg up to? And my trust with them is being good with them now. I mean, it's like they don't doubt my word, you know, it's what I say I'm doing, you know, and it's like my sister's like the little Nazi, you know, she's just on me all the time. And I lived with her for a while, and there just wasn't, the house wasn't big enough for both of us, I mean, so, but she loves me, she looks out for me, you know, and as for that, my family ties are very strong. You know, the only thing is like I say, it's going to take some time yet to build up a really loving relationship with my daughter. I mean, we're okay right now. We're building, but it was tore down throughout the years of incarceration, and you know, I can't expect it to happen overnight, and I'm very patient. I give her space. I have to give her space, and she's pleased. I mean, to see how my life is going.
Right.
So that's where I'm.
Perfect. Thank you, Greg. Who's next? Great, James.
I'm James Atkins, and I've done 26 years straight, never been in prison before. I don't know how I made it, thank you, Lord. And thank you for all the people that came into my life during that 26 years. And I like to look at it saying that I have taken myself away from my family. It was me of my choices and decisions. And they were embarrassed. They were humiliated. The communication, the length of incarceration, the communication became less and less and less. And I had a fear of growing apart from my grandchildren, another generation. And when I was in prison, I began to like really excel in as far as education-wise, with Landmark. I mean, N-Violence, because N-Violence came into the prison system, and I began, like I took that like twice until I grasped it. And then I became a coach I did that twice. But during that time, I really met this really old lady had told me, gray-haired old lady told me, she said, you can have anything that you really would like to have. She said, try this, and I know that, she said, I promise you that you would get some results. And I began to take it, and then I saw something so amazing while I was in that taking N-Violence program, that I'm behind a maximum security prison with the killers, and I'm talking about with people that were terrible. And I saw Mr. Joe Rank stand up there, and he had a confrontation with somebody. And this guy was terrible. He was notorious, but Joe stood his ground. And I looked at him, I said, wow, and I was just sitting there waiting for the results. And Joe didn't back down from the guy. You know, and when he didn't back down from this guy, and I looked, I said, wow, this N-Violence program must really work. Because I'm looking for all kind of stars and fireworks coming out of that situation, you know? But Joe didn't back down, and I looked and I said, wow. And it really gave me that point, to really like, I'm going to really give this a try. Not words, but putting myself into it. So, as I was in that program, I began to start writing my family and sharing with them about what I found. I'm talking about a new way of life began to emerge from it. And I always thought that I was a leader, but no, I think they just like showed me that, hey, you You gotta honor people, and honor brings humility, and humility shows up anything possible. So that's what I took away from my family, and that's the results from my family me going into prison. And since I've been out, I've had like maybe 4 or 5 of my family members come to introductions. My grandson, who's a boxer now, a kickboxer, he's in California now, I think. You know, and it really excelled him. I have 2 nieces that I brought to the introductions, and I have like did the curriculum of life with Landmark Education. And I have to say that through that experience, we brought other men into the conversation and brought them through the curriculum of life through Freedom by Design at the Halfway House that end violence graciously offer finances for them to get started. So now my family meets once a month. We have a family dinner. My children, we have a beautiful relationship. I just got married 5 months ago. And I have to be remiss and not to say everything that I wrote down when I first came out with my aim, and we wrote down all the things that, like the Merlin principle, like has been fulfilled. And I just want to say thank you again, and it works. The tools, if you use them, they will work.
Very good. Thank you.
One other thing, I'm not only a grandfather, I'm a great-grandfather.
Whoa! Yeah.
And I have to say, like, preserving for 62 years old is good.
Joe, there's a t-shirt box right behind your laptop screen.
Oh,
Ah, you're welcome.
thank you.
Great.
Jihad Jeffrey? So what you want to know is the impact it has on the community and my family?
Yeah, your return, and specifically inside of our programs themselves, how has your family seen the shift in you? You mentioned earlier your relationship with your daughters.
Oh, all right. Well, my experience is, coming home, well, my past is, life on an installment plan. 2 years here, 3 years here, 2 years here, 3 years here, drug use, drug abuse, doing everything on the streets, paying liability to the neighborhood. So at the end of my road, nobody believed in me. If I came home and said I'm not going back to jail, they said, yeah, would you just come to visit? So my mom always been my mom. She never gave up on me. She always say, well, I used to call her from the prison and she used to say, they messing with you again? I said, yeah, Mom, they messing with me again. You know, stuck in that selfish mentality. But today, coming home, going into a treatment center, going to the 3 years ago, I went through to the halfway house. I met Maheen, Jeffrey, and James. Greg wasn't there yet. I met Greg later. And they talked about some things. They talked about integrity. They talked about forgiveness. And I had, not that I didn't know anything about these things, but what Freedom by Design has given me is how to practice these tools and how to like take a stand and forgiveness, honor my words, stand in integrity. Like these guys, like today, like my mom legally blind, but when she sees me, she light up like the world. She say, that's my baby. You know, she just light up. Like she said, you going to your meetings? You know, she know about the halfway house on Friday night. I know you gonna go there. Yeah, man, I know I'm going there. So just to see the enlightenment on her, if I didn't get nothing else from this, I would be satisfied. My daughter, 3 years ago, she used to say, well, like, what are you around here now for? Because I came home and I tried to just jump into their life, and I have four kids, 3 girls and 1 boy. My 14-year-old, he just want to be around his dad. You know, he comes every weekend, he have a key to my house, he comes. He just want to be around me. He don't care what we doing, he just want to be there. Well, the one daughter, my 19-year-old, she used to say so many things to me that was really hurtful. Like, I used to go over there to see her, and she used to say, like, why are you here? Like, what you just coming to visit, to pop in and pop back out? And only through forgiveness of myself, forgiving myself, was I able to accept that. And I accepted it. I always was calm with her. I never got mad at her because I always knew that it was my fault and I caused it. So I always said to her, you have a right to feel the way you feel. But I have to tell you today what it's like for me and my daughter. She calls me and say, what's up, Mr. Jefferson? I say, what's up, Mrs. Jefferson? Like, now I mean, you know, we talk on the regular. Like, she talks to me about everything. Like, she loves me today in a whole nother, like, we have like a sister and brother relationship, but she knows I'm her father. My other 2 daughters, it's not so, like, we very distant. We're distant. My other 2 daughters, we're distant. They know I'm here. I call them. And all I do is call them, because y'all told me, honor my word. Y'all told me to stay in integrity. I call them, and I say, listen, I love you. And if that's all I gotta say, if they don't say nothing else, then that's all that need to be said at that time. Like, my 17-year-old, she's a 17-year-old. She's 17-year-old. You know, I mean, if I got some money for her, I got some money for her. So that's where we at with that. And so I let her be a 17-year-old because I've been in and out of her life. You know, I have no room to force myself on her. So I don't force myself on her, but I do call her regularly and say, listen, I love you. Are you okay? Do you need anything? And that's it. That's our relationship. But my 20-year-old, she's away at Lincoln in college. You know, I can call her sometimes when I'm having problems because I'm in college too. And I'm part of a college community, a community college in Philadelphia. This is my 3rd semester. And I'm like, they call me like, the girl came up to me, one of my classmates came up to me the other day and she said, what's up, Earl, the class star? I'm like, listen, you know, they talking about questions. I'm like, you know, I'm raising my hand. I'm so involved in participation in the class. And I'm like, dang, I didn't like school. You know, like I'm an 8th grade dropout. I'm an 8th grade dropout. I stopped going to school in the 8th grade. I didn't like school, but like listen, like I'm participating in the community college. I'm in class. The teachers they say Earl this, you used to do it like Earl this, and you know. So like that's how I'm affecting the community in that area. For another, I go into 2 different halfway houses. I go in, like listen, how I'm affecting the community. People used to count me out. but now they count me in. You know, like I always say, I'm sitting amongst y'all. I'm down landmark with people. Like, yo, like, I never expect. That's only through the End Violence program supporting Freedom by Design. I never would have met it. But, you know, I just really appreciate y'all welcoming me and letting me come in. And Maheen, just for Maheen believing in me. You know, like, cause my mom believed in me cause she's supposed to believe in me. You know, I'm a child, like, you know. But Maheen, she was like, Jihad, you're a leader. And that's all I hear when I'm ready to quit or something. I hear Maheen. And that keeps me moving. You know, like I said, my brother, he's straddling the fence. He wanna do good, but he don't wanna do good. So, but he looks at me and say, yo, he talks about me to his friends. And I heard a conversation with him and one of my cousins. My cousin said, oh, that's, I'm the wet head, the PCE head that I'm used to be the wet head. And that's usually say, he said, oh, he eat wet, he be back. And my brother said, you don't know my brother. You don't know what he's doing. He's not coming back. I know my brother. My brother's not coming back. And this is the effect I have on the community. You know, like I said, I'm not a liability anymore. I'm an asset.
Yeah.
I know this. So, you know, that's the effect I have on my family. And when I had my 19-year-old, I forgot about I had to say my fat, because my 19-year-old has a 2-year-old daughter. And she loves her pop-pop. She know her pop-pop will have a taffy for her whenever she see me. You know what I mean? So that's the effect, you know. And I had 2 different kids' mother. I had 3 kids by one, and I had 1 by another. And this year, all my kids and the 2 baby moms that I drugged through the mud, and I don't say that to boast and brag, I just say that to show what integrity and honoring your word will bring. It brought my 2 kids' mother together that couldn't stand each other, couldn't stand me. My 4 kids and my granddaughter, they all came over my mom's house December the 15th, and we all was together eating cake. You know, so that's what practicing, you know, the End Violence program has brought me. You know what I mean? Practicing the integrity, practicing the forgiveness, just implementing it in my life. This is what it has given me, and this is how it affects my community.
Wow.
Kind of like being yourself, do somebody else. Everybody know me. Anybody in the room know me? Gentlemen, how you doing? I'm Jeffrey.
I'm sorry, I have to go. I'd like to listen to
It's okay. It's on film.
Thanks, Mike.
Buy the video. Buy the video.
Jeffrey, I thought you had learned by now to sit on the other side of jihad because we go in that fashion.
Well, sometimes I'm a slow learner, and sometimes I'm a fast learner. It's like technology. I still have to catch up with it. But anyway, that's a good question to answer. Right, it's very good. One thing about me in the community with leadership that really have me to watch myself. Not that I'm a committed crime or anything like that, but to really watch my behavior, my language and stuff in the streets, out in society. One day, my neighbor said to me, and she knew I was in prison for a long time, almost 25 years. She said to me, I wish my son was like you. And it messed me up. It messed my head up because I was like, wow, right? So with me, the impact that I'm having on the community, I'm 51. People I grew up with, I'm not necessarily having a great impact with them, but they parents who have lost sons to crack epidemic and drug violence, with lost daughters to the street, stuff like that. My impact for them, when they see me, like Jihad was saying about his mother, they light up because they knew me as a nuisance. They knew me as a problem to the neighborhood. They knew me as the person when I came down the street, although I never robbed them or nothing like that, they would clutch their pocketbook. But today they know if it's open, they can leave it open and Jeffrey ain't gonna bother me. I never bother my neighbors, always did crime. 3 blocks away. They wasn't considered neighbors. But the impact is that I realized that, and I just know that they have conversation with their sons and their grandsons, and they say, see that guy right there? He's making it. Because one of my neighbors said to me one time, right, they didn't say it about me, but I know they thought the same thing. I have a childhood friend who grew up on the same block, and he was like Jihad, kept going in and out, and they was betting how long before he get locked up. And they actually had a literal pool for how long before this guy get locked up. So when I heard him say that, right, I kind of, oh, they probably said that about me too. But to their surprise and amazement, for almost 6 years now, I'm enduring, you know, and they really like that. And, you know, I run a neighborhood community tennis program. I grew up playing tennis. I love tennis, and that's one of the things I wanted to do. I just had when I was in prison, there's 2 things I really wanted to do real bad. Play tennis and go swimming. I wanted to do it bad. And I had the opportunity to play tennis in prison, but not swimming. And I never went to a public pool since I've been home. I went to a convention with my church, and they had a pool in the hotel, so I had a chance to do that. But the impact is basically on those seniors that have children or lost children and sons and daughters. And I was the president of the Stanton Park Community Advisory Council. That's a neighborhood playground. They have advisory council that advise the city on the best uses of the playground. And I went to the meeting. Actually, it was 3 meetings, but you had to be in 2 in order to get selected, even considered for voting. And I went and I spoke. One thing about me, I do not hide the fact that I was incarcerated. But I'm learning not to wave that flag all the time. Hey, look at me, I've been in prison about, you know, I'm learning not to do that, right? Introduce yourself first, show people your work, and then, you know, I do have a past, and it's my past, right? So I do community work. I just joined AARP. I just joined the NAACP, and I'm about to embark on a campaign in my community to like revitalize that organization I was the president of, but it's defunct now. Right? I want to do that, and I want to usher in some men's meeting, and I want to put a tag on. I don't know if I said this to you guys or another group of people, but I want to tag on it. And those who were formerly incarcerated, because I want men in the community to come out and really stand up and take leadership. My family, my mother passed away, not January that just passed, but last year, January 2011. But my mother had the opportunity to see me participate in a town hall meeting on a panel, because I used to tell her in prison, when I get out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be a speaker, I'm gonna do this right. So the opportunity came up because I did a radio interview, and the host loved me so well. She just put me in the town hall, and I had no choice. Maheen was there though. Also, my mother had a chance to see me do that, right? And she was very proud. And also, another man from my neighborhood, they had a chance to see me do that. That's some of the community work. My brother, my sister, and them, all they know is I go somewhere on Friday night. I come in the house. I grabbed this black book bag. My neighbors used to think I was going to college because I think he got a Penn State or something on the bag. Not Penn State, but the college up here. So I said, no, I ain't going to school. I'm going to teach a class. And then I catch myself, I'm going to facilitate a program. They said, I said, yeah. And then I started being like honest with them. I teach a class at a halfway house where people get out of prison. I just didn't say the name, the Environment Project. Right? So when they see me Friday coming out the house with the black bag, like clockwork, oh, that's where he going. He's going there every Friday. He's on point with it, and I'm happy. And you know, they talk to me, they speak to me. But I want to do greater work in the community dance, to answer the question, because I know there's the capacity to do that. There's the capacity to do that, and I really have to do it inside of what we're up to creating this weekend, the End Violence Project. Because oftentimes, I don't say the End Violence Project, I just do. Then somebody say something, oh, I'm a member of a nonprofit organization, Environment Project, but I have been promoted a little bit lately. I've been in conversation, I was telling someone today, with 2 young ladies that was incarcerated. One of them gave me a phone number, so I could call her. The other one, she wouldn't, but she took mine, but she had to call me, because I want some females that have been incarcerated to join this. So they can speak to women, and we can expand into female halfway houses. Next Saturday, I will be a part of a team cafe for teens. This organization is organizing it. Again, some other lady, she just put me in it. Right, it's mostly like my friends and associates that know what I do, Dan. My family, they don't. We all live in our own world, we love each other. We go to the birthdays, we go to the holidays and stuff like that, and then we split. But we talk on the phone and things like that. But my family's just happy to see that I'm maintaining, I'm staying out of trouble, and I'm doing something with my life. You know, they don't even know where I work. They don't know what I do. They don't know, but that's not, because they're not into that. See, I'm into the community thing. They're not into that. And in the community, the impact is leaders, other leaders in my community, like church people, some block captains. They want to see me do more work. Actually, the lady wanted me to get on the voting thing, and she signed me up. It took me a couple of hours with it, and she's the judge of the election, so I'm like, okay, you can pull me there, you can pull me there, because she actually took me to like 3 political things this month. 3 political things this month. She said, you need to meet people, you need to meet people. And I do have an Environment business card, and I've been giving the card out. And I was telling Chuck, I mentioned to Chuck, because Chuck said D.A. Seth Williams. I actually met him either Wednesday night or Thursday night, and I gave him the card, and I wrote some stuff on the back of it, and I said to him, simply, I need to speak. And I said it to him in a way, I didn't say I need to speak to you. I said, I need to speak. And I said, don't forget me. And I gave him the card, right? Shook his hand, and then I reminded him, I said, when you first started running, like 2 years before you ran, I was at the restaurant school on Walnut Street supporting you. He was like, I said, you remember, right? And when I think back on the things I was doing, and it really comes back out of really like meeting Maheen at Chester. I was there when Maheen came in for the Environment Project, and I was a peer facilitator in prison. Got all kinds of training, leading groups. That's why I kind of come national for me. Leading groups and speaking before people. But when the Environment Project came, it really came with something different. It came with something different. I listened. Stewart came through there. Maheen came through there. Different people. And I really listened, right? And as we say, I listened for the goal. And I found it, excuse me, when I came out to the halfway house, the Environment Project was right there. So for me, it was a continuous line. I never left it. I never left it. Only thing was taking the landmark form. I kept pushing Maheen off. Maheen, I ain't ready yet. I ain't ready yet. But I did. I completed it. I did the curriculum for living, all the way up to the Introduction Leaders Program. And to be honest, the Introduction Leaders Program, I didn't even put my all in to be candidated till like the last 2 weeks. And I know from experience, you just can't do it like that. It's not gonna happen like that. But it taught me a lesson, even in life. It's not gonna get done like that. And that's why earlier when I was talking about this, a new beginning for the program at the community center, because now one segment is closed off and it's a new beginning, and it goes hand in hand with you saying, Dance, that I have to be a more vocal spokesperson for the Environment Project, Freedom by Design, out in the community. And as a result of just that thinking, I ran into a flyer about a re-entry program, and I gave it to the men Friday night. I gave it to them to go down there. Oh, I took a group of men from the halfway house to a re-entry program. I think the first week of this month on the 6th. The halfway house allowed it. They allowed it, we got the names. I went in on a Friday morning, talked to the men, talked to the counselor. They said, okay, they gave me the go. That Monday, I went with them and I took them. And they signed up, and one guy told me this Friday, said they haven't called us, so I have to do some follow-up calls tomorrow. And that's the impact on the community, because they live out halfway in society, halfway in a controlled environment. That's the impact we're having. That's the impact on the community. Just people seeing me, you know, even like, I pick with, I say it like this and my girlfriend don't like it. I say I pick with people, like drug dealers on the corner, I pick with them. I say little things to them because if I came up to them trying to have a large enrollment conversation to them, number one, it's too dangerous. Because if the cop come, I might get locked up associated with them. So you gotta have instant conversations. You gotta say little quick things. And then if they come, I say, oh, we can have a conversation. Let's go sit on the bench down the park. But one condition, you ain't dirty. That means you have drugs, guns, and you ain't dirty, all right? They say, no, all right, we can talk. You know, and then I have conversations like that. But I'm really getting the confidence up to speak to these kind of men like that. And that's why I want to have some men meetings in the churches and community organizations. And that's what I'm up to, you know, and it's all an output of this work. And it is dance affecting the community. It's just not measurable in the sense that until people say, okay, I'm joining on, okay, I'm coming down to the meetings, then we can begin to measure it, but it is an impact. And the impact, as long as I stay free and people in my immediate neighborhood know I was incarcerated, they know it's hope. You know, people that's coming out know it's hope for their sons, their daughters. And I'm in contact with this lady. She got a son coming out of the federal prison and she wanted me to shadow him. And I said to her, because I tried to invite a gentleman down to the halfway house that was in the federal prison, but his parole officer cannot fraternize with other convicted people. But I see him from time to time when I talk to him because he lives in my neighborhood, so he's not back in jail. So I figured whatever conversation I had with him, had him, you know, doing what he needed to be doing. Because he was a drug dealer, he could easily go back to that because he on disability, right? And he needs money, but he don't. He sit on the porch at his mom's house. He stayed there, and I see my way to him, and sometimes I stop and talk to him. But you know, hopefully, when the gentleman come out and talk to him, I'm gonna wrap it up too. I'm gonna talk to him and see what we can do for him. See what we can do for him. But that's the impact that it had on the community. As long as myself and we are visible to those that know us from our community, there's an impact because people watch us.
Yeah.
You know, they watch us. We just have to be more conscious to communicate. So that's
Excellent. Good.